Garlic planting season is officially here, and if you've been putting off growing your own because you think it's complicated, I've got great news. Growing garlic is actually one of the easiest things you can do in your garden, even as a complete beginner. Today, I'm walking you through everything you need to know to grow your best garlic ever. Why growing garlic is actually genius. Here's something most people don't realize until they try it. Garlic might just be the most rewarding crop you'll ever grow. I'm talking about planting one single clove in the fall and pulling up an entire bulb with 6 to 14 fresh cloves the following summer. It's like garden magic, and honestly, it requires way less work than you'd think. The beauty of garlic is that it's a true set-it-and-forget-it crop. You plant it once, mulch it well, and basically ignore it all winter while it does its thing underground. No constant watering, no fussing over it every week, and very few pests bother with it. Compare that to tomatoes or cucumbers that need daily attention, and you'll see why garlic is perfect for busy beginners. Let's talk about money for a second. Organic garlic at the store can cost anywhere from $8 to $12 per pound. When you grow your own, you're spending maybe $20 to $30 on seed garlic that produces pounds and pounds of bulbs. Plus, you can save your biggest bulbs each year and replant them, so you're essentially growing free garlic forever. And here's the best part. Garlic loves the fall and winter garden when everything else is dying back. Those empty beds you have after your summer crops are done, perfect garlic real estate. You're maximizing your garden space and getting a huge harvest from a season that would otherwise go to waste. If that's not genius, I don't know what is. Hardneck versus softneck. Before you run out and grab any garlic bulbs you can find, you need to understand there are two main types, and picking the wrong one for your climate is mistake number one. Let me break this down so you don't waste your time or money. Hardneck garlic gets its name from that stiff central stem, called a scape, that grows right through the middle. These varieties absolutely love cold weather. If you live somewhere with harsh winters and frozen ground, hardneck is your friend. The cloves are usually larger, there are fewer of them per bulb, around 6 to 12, and they pack a punch with strong, spicy flavor. The downside? They only store for about 3 to 6 months after harvest. Softneck garlic is the complete opposite. No hard stem, which makes these perfect for braiding if you're into that farmhouse aesthetic. They thrive in warmer climates where winters are mild. You'll get way more cloves per bulb. Sometimes up to 40, but they're smaller and the flavor is a bit milder. The big win here is storage. Softneck varieties can last up to a year when cured properly. Now here's a critical warning. Skip the grocery store garlic. I know it's tempting because it's right there, but most of it is treated with sprout inhibitors, grown in climates nothing like yours, and sometimes has the basal plate drilled out to meet import regulations. You'll plant it, wait all winter, and get nothing. Buy certified seed garlic from a garden centre or online supplier instead. Perfect timing matters. This is where I see most beginners completely sabotage their garlic before it even has a chance to grow. They get excited, rip out their summer plants in late August, and immediately shove garlic cloves into the ground thinking they're ahead of the game. Trust me, I did this myself for years and wondered why my harvests were pathetically small. Here's what's actually happening when you plant too early. Garlic is what's called a biennial plant, meaning it has a 2-year life cycle. When you plant in late summer and it's still warm, those cloves sprout immediately and send up tall green shoots. You're feeling like a gardening rock star watching that growth. Then winter hits hard, knocks all that energy back down, and the clove has to start over in spring, except now it's exhausted and has nothing left to give. The sweet spot for planting garlic is 4 to 6 weeks before your first hard frost. This gives the cloves just enough time to establish roots underground, without sending up premature shoots. If you're in a warm climate like Southern California or Texas, you can push this even later into December or January. The goal is to let the garlic experience cold while it's still dormant. Look up your USDA growing zone if you're not sure about timing. Just type your zip code and growing zone into Google and you'll get a number. That number tells you exactly when to expect frost and when garlic should go in the ground. Getting this timing right is honestly the difference between tiny disappointing bulbs and huge restaurant quality heads. Soil preparation done right. You can't just dig a hole and drop garlic in like you're burying treasure. Well, you can, but don't be surprised when you harvest marble-sized bulbs that make you question your life choices. Garlic has specific soil needs, and getting this right from the start makes everything else easier. First, garlic absolutely demands loose, well-draining soil. If your soil is heavy clay that holds water like a sponge, your cloves will rot before they ever sprout. I'm talking about soil so loose you can push a clove down with your thumb without breaking a sweat. If you've got compacted ground, work in some sand, about 5% of your total mix. This creates air pockets and lets excess water drain away. Next up is compost, and I mean lots of it. Spread at least 2 to 3 inches across your entire planting area and work it deep into the soil. Remember, these garlic plants are going to sit in this bed for 6 to 8 months straight, from fall through the following summer. They need a constant supply of nutrients to develop those fat, juicy bulbs you're dreaming about. Here's something people forget. Re-amend your soil even if you already grew something there this season. Those summer tomatoes or peppers sucked nutrients out, and you need to put them back. I also like to add an all-purpose fertilizer at planting time, something balanced like a 4-4-4 ratio. And if you can get your hands on powdered sulfur or a bulb-specific fertilizer, even better. Sulfur helps prevent rot, which is garlic's biggest enemy during those wet winter months. Planting step by step. Now we're getting to the fun part where you actually get your hands dirty. Grab your garlic bulbs and let's break them down into individual cloves. Peel off that outer papery layer that holds the whole bulb together, but leave the paper skin on each individual clove intact. That's its protective layer, and you don't want to damage it. Look closely at each clove. One end is flat, that's the basal plate where roots grow. The other end is pointed, that's where the shoot emerges. This orientation is critical because unlike seeds that can figure things out, garlic cloves planted upside down will struggle, loop around, and give you deformed bulbs. Always plant pointy side up, flat side down. Here's the mistake that haunted me for 3 seasons, planting too deep. I thought burying garlic 4 or 5 inches down would protect it from frost. Wrong. All that did was suffocate the bulbs and stunt their growth. You only need to plant cloves 1 to 2 inches deep. In warmer climates, 1 inch is plenty. In colder zones, go 2 inches max. If you can see the little pointed tip poking through the soil, that's totally fine. Spacing is just as important as depth. Give each clove 3 to 4 inches of space on all sides. If you're planting rows, keep them 6 to 8 inches apart. Garlic hates competition and crowding invites disease, especially fungal problems like rust. Whether you're planting in raised beds, containers, or directly in the ground, these spacing rules apply. Push each clove into the soil, cover it gently, and move to the next one. Mulching and initial care. Most people think they're done after planting, and that's exactly when they lose half their crop to rot or frost damage. The secret weapon that separates mediocre garlic harvests from incredible ones comes down to one thing: mulch, and lots of it. I'm not talking about light dusting. You need a solid 2 to 3 inches of organic mulch covering your entire garlic bed. Straw works beautifully, shredded leaves are perfect, and grass clippings do the job just fine. This layer acts like a blanket all winter long, preventing those wild temperature swings that stress plants out. It also locks in moisture during dry spells and keeps soil from getting waterlogged during heavy rains. Here's something that changed my success rate from 70% to nearly perfect. Treating your cloves with powdered sulfur before or right after planting. You can buy products specifically labeled for bulbs, and they contain sulfur that alters the soil pH just enough to stop rot-causing fungi in their tracks. Garlic sits in cold, damp soil for months, which is basically a petri dish for mold. Sulfur gives your cloves a fighting chance. After you've mulched everything, give it one deep watering to settle the soil and activate those roots. Then, and this is the beautiful part, you're basically done until spring. No weekly watering schedules, no constant monitoring. Just let winter do its thing. The cold period is actually what triggers garlic to divide into multiple cloves, instead of staying as one big onion-like bulb. Nature handles the hard work while you sit inside drinking hot chocolate, spring through harvest. When those first green shoots poke through your mulch sometime around early spring, that's your cue to get back involved. Gently pull the mulch away from the shoots so they can grow freely, but leave it between the plants to keep weeds down and moisture in. Once your garlic reaches about 6 inches tall, it's feeding time. Hit them with a nitrogen-rich fertilizer, or top dress with more compost. This spring boost helps the bulbs size up, since they're about to enter their major growth phase. From here on out, keep the soil consistently moist with about 1 inch of water per week, whether that's from rain or your hose. If you planted hardneck varieties, you'll notice these curly shoots called scapes emerging in late spring. Cut them off while they're still tender and curled. Not only are scapes delicious in stir-fries and pesto, but removing them redirects all the plant's energy into bulb development instead of seed production. It's like telling your garlic to focus on what matters. As summer approaches, watch those leaves closely. When about half of the lower leaves turn brown and the tops start yellowing, stop watering completely. This signals the bulbs to harden off and prepare for harvest. Usually this happens anywhere from late June through August, depending on your climate and when you planted. Harvest time arrives when you've got about 6 green leaves left on top and the rest have browned. Carefully dig around the bulbs with a fork. Don't just yank them by the stems, or you'll snap the heads off underground. Brush off excess dirt, but don't wash them yet. Drop a comment and let me know if you're planting garlic this season, or if you've got questions about anything I covered. Mistakes that kill your garlic. Let's talk about the garlic growing mistakes that'll waste your time and leave you wondering why everyone says this crop is so easy. First up, planting damaged or squishy cloves. If a clove feels soft when you squeeze it, that's rot setting in. It won't magically recover in the soil, it'll just turn into mush and disappear. Only plant the firmest, healthiest cloves you've got. Depth issues trip people up constantly. Too shallow and your cloves dry out or get pushed up by frost. Too deep and they can't develop proper bulbs because the soil pressure restricts growth. Stick to that 1 to 2 inch rule religiously. Skipping mulch is basically asking for trouble. Without that protective layer, your soil temperatures swing wildly. Moisture evaporates too fast and weeds take over. The 15 minutes you spend mulching saves you hours of problems later. Using grocery store garlic instead of certified seed garlic is another rookie move. You're gambling on whether it's even viable for your climate, and most of the time you'll lose that bet. Finally, overwatering near harvest is the kiss of death. When those leaves start yellowing, your garlic is telling you it's time to dry out and finish maturing. If you keep watering, you'll rot, or the bulbs won't cure properly. Listen to what the plant is telling you and back off the hose. Growing garlic really is as beginner-friendly as it gets, and now you've got every single step you need to make it happen. Planting season is here right now, so grab some seed garlic and get those cloves in the ground. I promise you'll be amazed at what you pull up next summer.
Hey guys, Arthur here. If you found value in this video, YouTube, thinks you'll like this next one too.